Greetings, beautiful soul. Thank you so much for checking in on the segment this week. I had planned to walk and talk with you, as I usually do, on the topic and the subject for discussion this week. But it was a little bit more precarious than I had imagined coming up this way. So I needed to take some time to focus on the diversity of my traversing. And that brings us to the topic of today, which is diversity. And as you can see and hear, the roar of the falls in the background that I'm eventually going to get you to, you can see the diversity of the landscape that I am navigating today to get to this location. And that is so fitting for the diversity, and I will show you the diversity of this landscape all the way around, which is absolutely spectacular. And back there behind me is Cascade Lake and Lake Tahoe. But diversity stands for so many things in nature, as well as in our lives and the diversity of our human species. And just in this hike up here today, I have passed so many groups of people, diverse groups of people. There are Asians and Americans and African Americans and Middle Eastern and Indian, and so many different cultures that are out here enjoying this absolutely spectacular location. So just consider that for a moment while I move on to the next piece of our hike, because I need to pay attention to what I'm doing. So I'll see you back here in just a moment. So magically, as I come around the corner, and of course there are no coincidences, Gaia must have known the topic of diversity today and has provided this glory. So here we have this wonderful babbling, I wouldn't call it a stream or a brook, but you can see the diversity of the landscape. And here, where the water is bubbling majestically into this wonderful pool of stillness, where again it grabs momentum and heads on down towards the falls. And you can see the tree fall here and the split of the creek and all of the mountains. Let me see if I can get you up there by the mountains. That's where that water's coming from. Isn't that gorgeous? And this beautiful, calm, clear, so clear you can see the bottom. Look at that. You can even see the fish in there. And this lovely log where I'm going to cross to continue our adventure. So as I begin to traverse across this log, again, it seems so perfect. I wasn't going to film it, but as you can see, things are a little on the wobbly side. And what a grand example of how, as we traverse diversity in our lives, sometimes things can seem a little unstable. Actually, if you persevere and you move forward, continuing your journey one small, deliberate step at a time, you will make progress and you will cross into new territory. And soon, you will recognize the benefits that diversity provides. And so more along those lines of diversity, as I was speaking of all of the cultural groups that I was traveling with today on this hike, it's wonderful to interact with different cultures and different peoples and see how they enjoy the same majestic beauty that is present for all of us. And the diversity that they provide with how their belief systems work, in focus with how our belief systems work, which are not necessarily the same. And of course, there is absolutely no right or wrong. There's only different approaches. And that's relevant to diversity and this hike and the beauty that is available to us everywhere we turn, as long as we continue to move forward. And I've got to turn you around to see this mountain back here. Is that not just incredible? A couple more steps over here and I'll have you to the falls. But I'm going to turn the camera off and safely make it over there. We're almost there, but I had to stop and share this incredible diversity with you right here. On the way to the falls is this absolutely incredible twisted pine trees. And does that not exemplify the beauty of diversity and how these two incredible environments are living together and have been for clearly hundreds of years? Look how old that tree is. Right there in the rock, next to this incredible waterfall system that I will show you the bottom of shortly. And this all ties into diversity of our planet and of our lives. So the point of sharing all of this magnificent diversity with you today is to drive home the emphasis that no matter what path you take in life, you're going to experience diversity. Whether it is in your environment, as you can see the tremendous diversity around me, and sometimes that diversity drives you on a different path. Just like this beautiful water system that is boiling along behind me that I thought I could get down to the bottom of the falls, but I can't. So instead of forcing my way, I'm going to change direction and find a different, less resistive path and a safer one so that I can show you the incredible power of this little creek behind us and what it does as it dumps down into Cascade Lake that you just saw and on into Lake Tahoe. Remember, there are no rights and wrongs in this world. And, 6 plus 4, 8 plus 2, 5 plus 5, they all get you to the same result. None of them are right and none are wrong. They're all just a different way to do it. So remember, as you encounter diversity in your world, whether it be from your physical environment outside or whether it's from conflicts of belief systems within you or with other human beings that you encounter, because we have so much diversity in our humanity these days, and people seem to feel that if you are not just like them, then there must be something that is not right about you. But as we know, enlightened beings that you are, that is not the case. So thank you so much for taking the time to check in here and see what adventures we're out on today and to learn about today's topic. I hope it was helpful for you. I'm going to make my way back across the creek here so I can take you down and show you the falls where most people stop, but I'm not most people. Being an overachiever, I had to come over to this side and see if I could see the view from a different perspective. But I will take you down to the viewing area so you can see what Cascade Falls is all about. Yes, sometimes I do stop and smell the roses. What an incredible, peaceful spot for a meditation. The silence outside inspires the silence within. And so it is. Made it to the falls. Now I gotta turn you around so you can see how absolutely awesome this is. Remember, this is a beautiful example of nature and diversity. Look at how that spills down, way down and out into Cascade Lake, and eventually over there to Lake Tahoe. It don't get much better than that. Wherever you are, I hope this segment brings joy and peace to your life. Even though there's a roar behind me, it's a wonderful sound. Thanks again for taking the time. This was a long one today. I hope you enjoyed every step of the way as much as I did. Very grateful for your time here. I'll see you back here again real soon. And remember, in your lessons of diversity, keep positive and see things from a different perspective. And remember, we are all one. And holistic energy is everywhere around us, should we choose to see it. Thank you.